What's up, humans of Earth? It's Chris Angel coming at you for, you got it, another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. And this is, you know what episode this is? 280. 280. So let's talk about changing the world, shall we? Or at least just let's talk about change. I think as human beings, most of us can relate to the fact that we see things we want, that we wish were different. We want change. We're like, I wish it wasn't this way. I wish it were that way. Right. So that's change. You want some kind of change. Maybe it's political change. Maybe it's educational change. Maybe it's financial change. There's all sorts of things in life where we want to expand our life experience, and it comes with change, right? So I'm speaking to you out there in the world who want change. You're like, yes, I have a vision of a better world. Okay. And I'm also speaking to you if you're in business. Okay, so, well, you don't have to be in business in this particular episode, but that's who I serve. So if you want change, then here's the deal. You are a leader. You are a leader. Whether you want that title or not, you are. If you want change, you're a leader. So you might as well start acting like one. Let's break this down for a minute because it's important, because otherwise what happens is there's a bunch of us as humans wanting change and nobody's leading it. So if we break it down, it looks like this. You see something that you wish were different. And then what happens is you kind of look around and be like, well, who's going to do it? Because if you're honest about it, like I was honest about it, I didn't want to be strapped with that responsibility. Like I'm discontent with how it is, but I don't want to be the one that has to lead it. I don't want to do the work. I would rather somebody else do the work and change it for me. And here is the problem, right? Herein lies the problem, friends. When you're in business, listen, when you're in life, if you are going to have any power, if you're going to be at the cause of your life, if you're going to be any source of power in your own expansion, then you better get used to being a leader and acting like one. So what does this look like? Like, how do we go about implementing this change in the world? Okay, well, I mean, sometimes the change you're wanting to create is new, and there is not a lot of agreement for it. Like, let's take my example in marketing. I see a whole new way for us in business to market, a way that inspires people and leaves the world better than we found it. That we in business, when we market, the very act of marketing makes the world better. That is a paradigm shift, because most people hate marketers and hate marketing, period. But I believe that if you marketed from your truth, if you spoke to the world in such a way that shared what life taught you, and you did it in a way to serve others, not to sell something, but you marketed in such a way to serve others, and you led a conversation, that would make the world a better place. Now, nobody was really, Seth Godin is probably the closest person I can think of that is teaching this kind of a thing. And there is not a lot of others. But it got into me a long time ago, and I started thinking, like, I don't like the way marketing is. It needs to be different. It needs to be different. And I wasn't leading. I was trying to make myself fit the marketing models of other people. I kept trying to market like other people told me to market. And I didn't like it. And I didn't want to have to be the one that was going to shoulder the weight of trying to change marketing. That sounds ridiculous. That sounds big. I didn't want that responsibility. Until I got to the spot where I was just so tired of being incongruent with myself, out of alignment with myself, that I decided it was easier to be the change I wanted to see in the world as it related to marketing and creating marketing the way I saw it, than it was to sit back and simply feel powerless in the face of nothing changing. So let's apply this to you now. You see something that you wish were different, whatever that is. And there might be a lot of things in life that you see that you wish were different. Good for you. You're a visionary. And now you get to be the one that goes out and changes it. And my suggestion for you, part of being a leader is not just leading yourself, but it is leading others. So my suggestion for you is to start to work this in somehow to leading others into the things that you see. Like, you see something. So help other people see what you see, because that's how you start to create a movement around. the change that you want in the world. You have to start to lead people. And that can be scary because sometimes we don't want to lead when we don't feel like we have all the answers. We're like, well, who am I? I mean, this is biblical. Let's go all the way back to Moses, who's like, who am I to lead these people? And it's very common for us as leaders to say, who am I to lead? I don't have it all figured out. I'm not perfect. There are plenty of other people more qualified than me. And yet, you're the one who sees what needs to be changed. So guess what? You get to lead. You're the leader. And so here's the last part of the opening statement, right? So act like one. You're the leader. So act like one. You're the leader. So act like one. And all of a sudden, what happens when you submit to that thought, okay, I'm the leader, so I'm going to act like one. All of a sudden, the game changes, doesn't it? The game changes. And you have a lot at stake now, because if you don't do it, who's going to do it? When you identify as a leader, when you see yourself as the leader, all of a sudden you show up differently. And the cool part is there's so many people who want the same change that you want, but everybody else is terrified to take the first step. And so what qualifies you, gang, as a leader is not the fact that you have all the answers or that you've climbed the mountain 50 times. What qualifies you as the leader is that you're willing to act. That's it. You're willing to act. There was, I always loved the story of Harriet Tubman. I haven't seen that movie. I should watch Harriet. I haven't seen that yet. But there was no moment where how would the first time that Harriet Tubman was sneaking somebody through the Underground Railroad, how would she possibly have been like, oh, well, I'm super qualified for this. I took the, get slaves out of slavery class and certification. There was no certification for that. There was work to be done, and she was willing to act. And that is what creates a leader. Not that you have the answers, and not even that you can predict the end result. Harriet Tubman couldn't have predicted the result, but she was like, hey, there's a way out over here. Follow me. And so you see change. You see change that you wish something were different. And the only way out is to go do it, to go step into it. And as you do it over and over and over, as you keep leading again and again and again, what happens then is you start to create track record. You start to create a path. And in the beginning, it'll be the early adopters who are like, okay, I trust you. I feel safe with you. I will follow you. And then later, as it gets more and more popular, more and more people will come through to freedom, right? They'll come through your underground to the other side into freedom. But in the beginning, it's not like a landslide. And this is the problem, because most people in marketing and business are like, well, you tell me if I'm going to, make $1 million tomorrow and then I'll lead. It doesn't work like that. You see change. So you have to go take a step. And in the beginning, when you start taking that step, a few people maybe will follow. But then you do it again and you do it again. And pretty soon, right, word travels. And they're like, hey, I think you'll find some freedom over here if you, right, go this way. You should hook up with Chris because Chris has a completely different way to think about marketing, for example, right? So being the change you want to see in the world starts with you. Like, that's exactly what that means. You get to be the change. So if you want to change the world, you're like, world, I wish you were different. Congratulations. You're the leader, so act like it, right? You're the leader, so act like it. It's up to you. That's it. It's up to you. If you'd like help being a leader, if you'd like help stepping into your important work and finding your message for the world so that you can lead, by the way, you lead confidently from your truth, not from your results. Now, results are helpful, yes, but if you wait to have results until you lead, you're going to delay not only your success, but you're going to delay the movement you're here to lead. If you'd like help with that, I have a 6-week program for you, right? It's called the Groundswell Method Intensive. It's designed to get you in touch with the very thing you're here to lead in the world. and to say it over and over again, right? The place to learn about that is at groundswellmethod.com. You can see the link in the comments of this post or in the text of this post. Groundswellmethod.com. There's a set of free videos there for you that outline this whole paradigm of how do we market this way? How do we be change makers in this world through our marketing, such that our marketing leaves the world better than we found it? Okay, go to groundswellmethod.com. You can watch the free videos. And on the last page of those free videos is an application for the 6-week program. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me here today in this episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Until tomorrow, here's to you leading. See ya.